Okay, we're back to Adobe Illustrator Classroom in a Book. This is the 2014 release. We are on Chapter 8. Before you open your lesson, you should go back in, and if you want to, you don't have to, you can restore your default preferences and go into Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials. We'll be working again in Essentials. And if you come up with this when you open your lesson file, if you come up with missing fonts, if you wish to sync your fonts, you can. If you do not have Typekit available to you, which you won't if you're working in the lab, just close, and when you get to having this particular font, when it comes up and it gives you an issue, just select a different font and everything will be absolutely fine. If you do have sync, go ahead and you can sync your font, but again, otherwise just close. It's going to take a couple minutes for your fonts to sync, and once you do that, you can go ahead and close this. I'm going to move on because, well, this is running in the back, hopefully running in the background. Now, we're going to be working in layers with this lesson. Layers are invisible kind of folders, or they're just like organizing something in a file box so that you can manage all of your items. Sometimes items on an artboard can be rather difficult to track, so we look to our layers panel and we can unfold our layers and find things a whole lot easier. We can group them, we can have items just singly, we can have multiple layers, and it's just a great organizational tool. If we open the finished file and look through the finished file, you're going to see a whole lot more of these layers. You can do that on your own. The top of page 251 gives you a breakdown of what everything is as far as discussed. It shows you layer color, the visibility, the edit, whether you can lock or unlock an item, creating sub-layers, create new layer. Everything is explained on there. Go over the chart on the top of page 251. I already have the lesson open, and if you get that and you can sync, if not, you don't have to. But you should get the syncing done if, well, you can. You can opt to do it. You don't have to. Now, I'm proceeding on to page 252. You can deal with the Typekit if you are running your own rental, but I'm going to go and I'm saving mine as, and we're saving this as shirts. Again, add your initials to your file name so that I will know when you turn in that final file that this belongs to you. Okay, if you need to deselect anything, you can deselect, and we should already have your artboard fitting in the window. If not, please select Fit Artboard in Window. Okay, by default, every document is going to have a layer 1. You're always going to have one layer. You can have more layers, but you will always have a single layer, and the default name is going to be layer 1. So very easily we can change the name of the default layer, and then we can create new layers. If you don't have your layers available, please click on the side to make it visible. If you don't see it in here and you're not sure which one to go to, but we've used it already, you should be able to find it. Go to Window and Layers, because you will be able to open it from there as well. Shortcut key is F7 if you're in shortcut keys. In the layer panel, double click the layer name. Just click on the words layer 1 and type in shirt front. Oh, I missed the T. Very fine, very easy. I just don't click on it again, and there it is. Now, instead of keeping all the content on one layer, we're going to have several layers, and we're going to have sub-layers, and that's going to keep our content organized a whole lot better. Now, we're going to next go down in our layer panel and click on Create New Layer. Now, layers and sublayers aren't named in sequence, so or are numbered in sequence rather, so we will come up next with layer 2. When a layer or sublayer contains other items, there's going to be a disclosure after it. See this? That's a collapse, that's open. So if you get that, you will know that you have more items. We're going to double click to the side, not directly on the name, but right to the side of the name so that you can get the dialog box. And notice that it says layer 2. We're going to call this shirt back. And because it's default, we'll just click OK. The default is that new layers are added at the top. If we want them to be loaded on the bottom, we can drag them to the bottom so we can move them around. There's a different color to the layer. We have a red layer on top of a blue layer. And later on, you'll see the need for this as we start selecting items. So we're going to create a layer and name it using one step, which is another way to do this. You're just going to use a modifier key. So if we hold down our Option key if you're a Mac, or your Alt button if you're a Window, and click on the new layers, it will give you that layer options dialog box, and you can put your name the name of the layer right in there. So this one is labels. Okay. And this one, note, is coming in green. Now, pattern front layer, grab pattern. Do I have a pattern front? Oh, layer 2, I have shirt front, shirt back. Oh, that was supposed to be pattern front. So let me rename that because I want to make sure I keep the right colors. If you're doing this yourself, it's not going to matter so much as long as you keep your orders going. We're going to make another new layer. This one, layer 4, you can name it however you want to. I'm just used to doing mine this way. So I've got labels, pattern front, shirt back, shirt front. And now I'm going to do pattern front. I'm going to click on that and drag that to the new layer button, which makes a copy of that. You can't see it all, but if I if I click to the side, you can see that it is pattern front copy. So we're going to change that to pattern back and say OK. Now, the only weird thing on this is the fact that you will see that your pattern front and pattern back, because you did a copy, it is the same color. Shirt front is a blue, is light blue. Say OK. Oh. Labels is medium blue. Shirt pattern front is green. Pattern back is also green. That's because we copied a layer. Okay, now we're going to create a sublayer, which is a layer within a layer. It's sort of like having a filed folder. So each layer is a file drawer, and you can put a folder inside the file drawer. Okay, now we're going to do this by clicking shirt front, and then we're going to create new sublayer. Just click on it to select it, create a new sublayer, and wow. Drag the left edge of the layer panel to the left to make it wider so you can read all the names. Okay, and you can drag down if you need to, or rather I should say you can drag up if you need to so that you can see everything. The subgroup that we just created is called layer 6. We're going to change the name of that to front collar. Okay, it's right below, because we remember everything stacks on top. So it's right below shirt, the layer name of shirt front. Okay. Now we're going to hide the content of shirt front. And all you see is just that it's got the drop down there. There's a section at the bottom of page 254 concerning layers and colors. And you can read that yourself. We already talked about that layers have different colors. Now, to edit layers and objects. By arranging the layers in the layer panel, you can change the stacking order of objects in your artwork. So on an artboard, objects in layers that are higher in the layer panel list are in front or on top of objects in front, okay, going towards you, off your computer screen. And each layer has its own stacking order. Layers are very useful for a variety of reasons, including the ability to take and move objects between layers and between sublayers and organizing everything a lot more easily so you can select your artwork easier. When working with artwork, there may be times when you want to lock something, that you don't want to be able to move something, you don't want something to be able to be selected. Rather than going up to object and finding it and locking it, you can find and lock items within the panel. So if we go to, let's see, we want to click to select the yellow-green sleeves on the shirt below the word front. So there's the item selected. Now, we can click the Locate Object button, which looks like another magnifying glass. And there we will see that these items are, you have the two sleeves and they are grouped together. Okay? Now, let's see. Oh, there finally my font was added. Yay. Okay, so see that these two are selected. If you don't see them, you may need to scroll down, or you may just want to drag your panel and make it a little bit taller. So double click on the name group. Come on, group. There it is. We're going to rename that front sleeves. Hello, didn't rename. Come on, group. It's not wanting to name. Let's try it this way. I don't know what my issue is. I don't know. I think it had to do something with that little pop-up that I got. So I'm going to say okay to that. I've renamed it. And that's a default thing, that it had the little group tag above it. It's just showing that there is a group, and then it will list the parts of the group below it. So now we've renamed it. It's still a group. It's still grouped together. And now you can click off and deselect. If you click again, you can collapse shirt front, and you can make your layer panel a whole lot shorter if you want to. You can move layers and content between layers, and that's the next thing we're going to do. We're on page 256. If you go into view now, we're going to look at the outline mode. Now in artwork, using the selection tool, drag a marquee selection across the artwork for the black shirt. To select it, we want to select and include where the indicator for the sleeves. So make sure you're selecting the whole artwork thing. Okay? Notice that in the layers panel, I'm going to put that back up. Notice that we have the shirt front selected because everything was built in layer 1. So we want to move that. You've got this little square here that shows that that's selected. The color of the bounding box is blue, so it matches the color of shirt front. I have to quit.